and they used mud bricks, and the floor had sand on it. So it wasn't this marble floors that we have today. None of this. And when it used to rain, and they used to when they did their sujood, when they came up, they had sand and mud stuck to their forehead, and they had to wipe it off. That was the masjid. So when we think of Masjid al-Nawawi, it is not the masjid that we see what the Saudi government has built. The vast expanse of a mosque. That wasn't the masjid of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was a tiny masjid, a small masjid, and his house, his living quarters, 2-roomed living quarter, were attached to that masjid. So you can imagine, brothers, try and picture this. Palm leaves on top, a wooden structure with bricks around, mud bricks to sort of give some seclusion, and the floor had sand. It was like, the earth was the floor. There was no marble, there was no carpet. It was bare, and this was the place. So we would think, what can you do in that place? That place has nothing. You need to spend millions of pounds or dollars to build a masjid where you can have real activities. You can't do anything from a thatched roofed hut. What can you do? But I tell you, brothers, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba, they changed the world from that place. The whole world was changed from that place. So it is not the building that makes things happen, it is what the people do in that building that makes the difference. Today, brothers, you'll see, I don't know if you watch some of the channels, there's the Islam channels, or the Channel S, or the Bangla TV, or Iqra TV, you will find when Ramadan comes, fundraising. People want to build bigger and bigger and more sort of amazing masjids. We are in a competition that who can build the biggest, who can build the most largest dome, or the masjid with the most marble. We're in a competition. We don't realize it is not the building that makes this ummah. It is not the building. The masjid is not, the significant part of the masjid is not how many chandeliers you have, what the lighting, and how much marble you've used, or how many millions of dollars or pounds you've spent. No, it is not that. It is what you're doing in that building. That is what Allah is. This is what's more important to Allah and His Rasul. And you will see, brother, I will just list some of the things that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam did with the Sahaba in the Masjid al-Nawawi, and you will see how active, how dynamic that place was, even though materially it was nothing. And when they were building that masjid, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam reminded the Sahaba that this is a very transient life. We live a transient life, meaning that our time here is for a very short time. Why be extravagant? Why be flash? Why want this sort of expensive, luxurious building when we're here for a temporary period? Make do with what is required, the minimum, and do with that. You don't need all of this luxury. This is what he reminded. And this is why, you will hear our scholars, when they speak about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Masjid al-Nawawi, they'll say, this masjid was the Masjid of Taqwa. It is built upon Taqwa, because when they were building it, they were chanting that they fear Allah, that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his Rasul, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam kept on reminding that they would return back to Allah when they were building the masjid. And Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself participated in the building and the clearing of the land so that they could build this masjid. There are some misconceptions, brothers, today. What is some of the brothers I can look around and I see this brother here, little brother here, still goes to the masjid. Every day he probably goes from 5 to 7. Our recollection of the masjid is what it is. It's after school, going for 2 hours, reading a book we don't understand, and when you make a mistake, the teacher gives you a good whack. He's got a stick. But I don't know if they do that anymore, because all the human rights and everything else. The imam will probably get arrested and taken to prison for child abuse or something like that. But that's sort of my recollection of my youth when I was sort of your age, probably some of you brothers here. It's about going to the masjid and reading something which we couldn't make much sense of. And when we were told to go and pray, we ran around the masjid. Nobody really explained why we had to pray. And that's our affiliation with the masjid. We go there while our parents can force us, and when they can't force us, we're off, doing other things. And the masjid is, what is the masjid? Masjid is the place when you're old, you don't work anymore, you retire into the mosque. You find a nice corner in the masjid, nice close to the radiators, and they put up notices, don't lean on the radiators, because so many people lean on them, it buckles, there's a bend in them, in the radiators. And you find a nice cozy place, and you sit, and this is your resting, before you depart this dunya, that becomes your resting place. So our masjid are old people's home. Normally when you go into the masjid, what do you see? Our old bearded uncles, grandfathers, all sitting around, talking. And when the salah comes, few younger people come from work, from school, college, and they join the jama'ah. And when it's over, they disappear, and the old people are still left. And the masjid is quiet. And you have signs on the wall saying, no politics, brothers. No talking. None of the dunya here. And one brother said to me, he said, no politics in the masjid, MP is coming. So our local MP candidates, they can come and do politics, but Muslims, you can't do politics. You can't talk about politics. So haram, brothers, in the masjid. So this is, we've created this place now, a place that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba would not recognize. A place which is quiet. There is no activity. No one talks to anyone. Everybody sits there. The Imam comes, he leads the prayer, and everybody just leaves. And the old people remain. That is the sad reality of our masjid today, brothers. And come Ramadan, we collect thousands of pounds to make it bigger. Bigger for what? For who? When the younger generation are not coming to the masjid, who are the elders going to leave the masjid to next? The next generation, where are they? Have they prepared anything? Have we prepared anything? Who's going to look after that masjid when they pass away? When the generation, the management who are looking after that masjid, when they will inshallah pass away, everybody will pass away. Who have they prepared? Who will they leave that masjid to? So by making it bigger, brothers, by collecting funds and making the masjid like a morgue, a place where everybody, like people just sitting there, no motion, no feeling, nothing. That place isn't going to do much. It's not going to produce anything. Nothing good is going to come out from that. None of the good that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, none of the vitality and the dynamism that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam showed and developed within the Sahaba won't develop within us if we do not make our masjid, every masjid, like the Masjid al-Nawawi. When Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam arrived in Medina, he built the masjid. And what did the masjid become? It became the focal point of the community. 5 times a day, the adhan, Bilal was asked, because of his beauty of his voice, was asked to make the adhan. He would make the adhan, and all the Muslims would come to salah, and they all would come to the masjid, and it would be a place where they would meet each other, find out what's happening, who's doing what, how are you? Are you well? Are you ill? Are you doing well? And if someone did not come to the masjid, everybody would be worried. Why is this brother not here today? Maybe he's not well. Maybe he's in trouble. Maybe we need to go to his house and find out what's happened to him. The masjid used to be the place where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would gather the Muslims and address them. So when they had to go to battle, or the enemy is about to attack Medina, he would call all the Muslims to the masjid and he would address them in the masjid. He would tell them. The masjid was the place where they talked about politics, talked about strategy, battle, jihad. All of this happened within the masjid. When foreign dignitaries came to see Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when ambassadors were sent from the Romans and the Persians and the other tribes around the Arabian Peninsula, where did they come and see him? They came to the masjid. That was the place Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam received foreign dignitaries. And it is also, brothers, the place where Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam cultured the Sahaba. He taught them how to pray. He taught them how to read the Quran. He led them in salah. And he did his halakah in the masjid.